Have you ever wondered how a ceasefire can lead to more violence? Let's delve into the recent Israel-Gaza conflict. This story begins with a truce, a pause in the fighting between Israel and the Islamic Jihad. Yet even in the quiet aftermath of the ceasefire, the echoes of violence were still evident. In Gaza, the toll was severe. 44 lives were lost, including 15 children, and over 360 people were wounded. The conflict also forced 40 families to abandon their homes, leaving 650 housing units damaged. The Islamic Jihad launched over 1,000 rockets towards Israel, pushing its residents into shelters. Israel, with its Iron Dome air defense system, managed to prevent serious damage. But Gaza, home to 2.3 million people, had no such protection. As accusations flew, Israel claimed that around 20% of the rockets fired from Gaza had misfired, causing damage within the Strip, a stark reminder of the perils of conflict. While a truce was reached, it was far from the end of the conflict. What happens when a ceasefire holds but tensions remain high? Let's take a look. In a glimmer of hope, Israel reopened the border crossings into Gaza following a ceasefire with the Islamic Jihad group. This crucial move allowed fuel trucks to supply Gaza's power plant, increasing the availability of electricity for the beleaguered residents of the region. But as the dust settled and life attempted to return to some semblance of normalcy, the UN Middle East envoy issued a stark warning. Any resumption of hostilities could have devastating consequences. In the aftermath of the conflict, both sides claimed victory. Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid stated that all goals were achieved. On the other side, the Islamic Jihad declared a triumph. Israel viewed the operation as a significant degradation of Islamic Jihad capabilities. Yet, amidst these claims and counterclaims, the human cost was undeniable. Despite the ceasefire, the human cost in Gaza was heavy, and the threat of renewed violence loomed large. How does a conflict continue, even after a ceasefire? Here's what's happening. Even in the wake of a ceasefire, tensions remain high as the Israeli military has bombed Hamas sites in Gaza. This action was a response to incendiary balloons launched from the Palestinian enclave, causing brush fires in southern Israel. Despite the resumption of Qatari aid, cross-border violence has not ceased, but rather increased. In one alarming incident, an Israeli soldier was seriously wounded due to Palestinian gunfire. In another, a clash with Israeli soldiers resulted in the death of a 15-year-old Palestinian near Nablus. The situation is further complicated by the restrictions placed on Gaza by both Israel and Egypt. These are not arbitrary measures, but steps taken in response to perceived threats from Hamas, the larger militant group ruling Gaza. While the ceasefire may have stopped the rockets, the conflict is far from over. The situation remains balanced on a knife's edge, with each incident having the potential to reignite full-scale hostilities. The ceasefire may have stopped the rockets, but the conflict is far from over. How does the international community respond to such conflicts? Let's see. The international response has been varied. One significant instance is the meeting between Indian Prime Minister Modi and the Israeli President in Dubai. Modi, in this meeting, made a poignant appeal for a permanent truce, emphasizing the need to halt the violence and work towards a peaceful resolution. However, despite these calls for peace, the situation on the ground has been far from calm. Eastern areas of Khan Yunis in southern Gaza came under an intensive bombardment shortly after the ceasefire ended. This led to columns of smoke rising into the sky, a grim testament to the continuing strife. Residents caught in the crossfire had to flee their homes, taking to the road with their belongings heaped up in carts, seeking shelter further west. As the world watches, the call for a peaceful resolution grows louder, but the path to peace remains fraught with challenges.